I am Alexander B. Stevens. This is the brand new up-and-coming podcast entitled, What Is He Thinking? The sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes politically incorrect, but always sincere and truthful podcast for the benefit of women from the perspective of men. You've got questions? I've got answers. What's going on? This is Alexander Stevens, and in this inaugural episode 1 of the podcast, I wanted to start things off talking about the top 10 things that men look for out of a woman. The top 10 things men look for in a woman. Items number 1 and 4 are the first 4 things we pay attention to, and these are the items that determine if we want to pursue you or not, or if we want to date you at all or not, and have any kind of romantic/sexual relationship with you on any level. Items 5 through 10, this is what we look at when we're already dating you, and we're trying to determine in our mind if we want to make things more serious or exclusive with you. So 1 through 4 determines if we want to romantically pursue you at all. 5 through 10 determines if we want to make things serious. So let's get the party started. The number 10 thing that men look for from a woman is common interest. Common interest. Do we expect you to like everything that we like as much as we like it and to hate everything that we hate? Absolutely not. We know you're a woman. We know you're unique. We know you're different. But if we don't have any common interests, if I love going to the movies and shooting pool and watching sports, and those are my top 3 favorite leisure activities, and you hate all 3 of them, then exactly how are things going to work out? Now, you don't have to like all 3 of them, but it'd be good if you like 2 of the 3. You know what I'm saying? So the number 10 thing that a single man looks for in a woman is, do we have interest in common? If so, how many? The more the merrier. At the same time, we expect and respect differences. Number 9 thing that we're paying attention to or looking for in a potential female companion is we're looking and paying attention to your general outlook, philosophy, and ideals on life in general. Your general outlook, philosophy, and ideals on life. Is your general outlook pessimistic? Is it optimistic? Is it narcissistic? Is it altruistic? What's your mindset when you leave your house and you approach the world? How do you view the society we live in and your part in it and how you're going to impact the society? What are your overriding big picture philosophies on life? Are you a live and let live? Are you a big believer in karma, golden rule? Whoever has the gold rules? Like, what are the top 3 things if somebody was describing you or analyzing how you tackle the world, what they say about you? Do you come at life and society from, a feminist perspective, first and foremost, a religious perspective? What is your overall overriding general outlook, philosophy, and ideal on life, how life should be lived by you, how you would prefer life to be lived by others, and just your opinion and your interactions with society? And we're paying attention, we're looking at this to basically compare that to, of course, our own general outlook and philosophy on life. And the closer the 2 are, or at least the more compatible the 2 things are as far as your general outlook and philosophy and my general outlook and philosophy, the better. All right, we're now to item number 8. The 8th most important thing when determining if we would like to get in a serious relationship with her is her long-term big picture goals. Her long-term and or big picture goals. Does she have the goal of being a stay-at-home mother or a working woman? Does she want to have no kids or 2 kids or 5 kids? Is her goal to make as much money as possible and live it up while we're young and worry about the future, worry about her old age later? Or does she have a goal of retiring early? So being frugal while you're young and then hopefully being able to retire when you're 50 and then have most of your fun then. Does she have a long-term goal of being married, or does she not really believe in marriage? Does she have a big picture goal of, I don't know, becoming a partner at her law firm? Or is she cool staying as a clerical assistant or paralegal? Basically, we're looking to see how her long-term big picture goals mesh with ours. Are they compatible?
Or do they conflict?
Or are they the same? If she doesn't want to have kids and I want to have 4 kids, then there's no way we can be in a serious relationship, or there's no way that a man's going to want to take that individual woman seriously. So she has put a glass ceiling on herself where she can never advance beyond the casual relationship, the open relationship, or the friends with benefits. So item number 8, her long-term big picture goals and how they compare to ours. Number 7, we are looking at taking note of her core strong beliefs. Her core strong beliefs. Now, these strong beliefs are most likely directly related to her general outlook and philosophy on life, but they might not be. These last 3 items could be all linked. It just depends on how consistent and thorough the woman is. But like I said, item number 7 is her core strong beliefs. So we're comparing maybe controversial topics or hot button topics and seeing how much in common we have on those issues. Is she pro-life and I'm pro-choice? Is she an atheist and I'm a devout Christian? Does she believe men and women are completely equal? The only difference between us is one urinates standing up, the other urinates sitting down. One can give birth and one can't. But other than that, we are the same. Or does she have the more traditional beliefs when it comes to that? What are her core strong beliefs? She's a staunch Republican and I'm a liberal that don't even understand how anyone could be that conservative. What are her core strong beliefs and how do they compare to mine or the man's? The 6th most important thing that we look for from a woman that we're considering getting a relationship with, or we're evaluating to see if she's relationship material, is our non-physical, non-sexual chemistry. Our non-physical, non-sexual chemistry. Or in other words, our conversational chemistry, our mental chemistry, and our spiritual chemistry. How well do we click when we're conversing with each other? Does time just fly, or does it seem like work? Do we understand each other's, verbal conversational quirks? Or are we having to over-explain slang and different quirky things we do when we're communicating with each other? Mental chemistry. Are we kind of on the same mental plane? Are we really clicking that mental, spiritual atmosphere that you just can't fully explain, but you just can almost finish each other's sentences? You just, after having a handful of conversations, you kind of get a grasp of the other person and you can almost guess how they would answer or respond to future hypothetical situations. Are we on that
additional plane, that higher plane of chemistry where the conversation is banging? We feel like we're spiritual puzzle pieces, yin and yang. We're just clicking together like that. We're on that same mental plane. We share strong mental chemistry.
So, item number 6 is her non-physical chemistry. Non-physical, non-sexual chemistry.
Now, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsor, Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Third, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Next, hey, you can even make money from your podcast with minimal listenership. I mean, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So this is what I want you to do. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, item number 5 is her sincerity/reliability. Her sincerity about the romantic situation and her reliability when dating. In general, the average man, let's say questions the dependability and reliability of most women.
So if a woman proves herself reliable to a man, then she has set herself apart from the majority of women. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might, when you're evaluating your own reliability and your own sincerity, you're probably thinking back to your relationships and men that you've fallen in love with in the past. But there's more to it than that. You also need to think about the other guys that tried to holler at you and that you either didn't like at all or you only had mediocre interest in and things fell off with them. How did you treat them? How reliable and sincere were your actions and words with them? Or did you kind of, agree to a date on Friday and blow them off for no real reason on Friday? Like, how reliable were you to them? Anyway, so a guy, we kind of pride ourselves on real men. I'm not talking about, F-boys or immature cats, but real men pride themselves on being reliable, dependable, and sincere with their words and actions. So they also desire that from the woman/women that they deal with. How sincere are your words and just basically your whole attitude and mindset coming into the situation. And basically how we determine how sincere your words are by your actions and how reliable your actions are and how they match up to your words. When you say something, can I just put it in the bank because I know you're going to do it? Or do you change your mind easily? Are your actions always determined by the whim, emotion of the moment and not by your overriding overall respect for the other person or respect or enthusiasm towards having a successful end to that situation? So item number 5 is sincerity/reliability. So let's recap. Items 5 through 10. These are the things that we are evaluating. This is what we're paying attention to after we've already been dating for a month. And we're trying to determine if you're the woman that we need to get serious with. Items 1 through 4. These are the things we're looking at before we ask you out on the first date and during the first month of us dating. These are the things that will determine if we want to have any type of non-platonic relationship with you at all on any level. If 1 through 4 aren't satisfied, if you don't get a check mark for items 1 through 4, then a serious long-term relationship is out of the question. Anyway, let's continue on with the list. The 4th most important thing that a man looks for in a woman to determine in his mind the viability of their non-platonic entanglement is physical chemistry. So item number 6 was non-physical, non-sexual chemistry, but item number 4 is physical/sexual chemistry. How do we vibe when we're in each other's presence? Is there an electricity in the air? Can we read each other's body language? When we kiss, are we clicking on that level? Or do you kiss this certain style and I kiss this other style and we're just off rhythm? What is our physical chemistry? And then, of course, you could take that to the bedroom, and I don't really need to explain all that. But anyone with any type of experience in that arena knows the person that they have excellent physical chemistry with the person where they have mediocre physical chemistry versus the person they don't really have physical chemistry with at all. So item number 4 is physical chemistry. All right, number three. The third most important thing that we look for out of a woman or from a woman to determine if we want to date her or do anything more than just date her is her femininity, aka her agreeableness and her cooperation level. So number 3 is femininity, aka her agreeableness and her level of cooperation. As time has gone on, traditional or historically traditional femininity has kind of been frowned upon or not taught mothers to daughters, maybe just thought of as unimportant in current day society, but subconsciously and sometimes consciously, men still have a strong desire for feminine women. And the two of the more important elements of femininity is agreeableness and cooperation level. Agreeableness doesn't mean you just smile and nod to everything that the guy suggests or anything that he wants to do. But agreeableness is basically a mindset that you are easygoing and not looking to fight. don't have the burning desire to always be right. Not looking to fight, don't have the burning desire to always be right. So basically, if he's doing something, suggesting something, or saying something that you're vehemently against, that you is just completely against your desires, wishes, or your character, you can raise an objection at that point, offer some friction or resistance at that point. But if he's saying stuff that is just kind of gray area, things that aren't that important or aren't that big a deal, then you're the type of lady that can lay back and go with the flow. You are agreeable. You're not always looking to pick a fight. You don't have the burning desire to be right. Now, cooperation level.
Men love women that cooperate.
You would not believe how often women don't cooperate with men and how much friction, resistance, and unnecessary difficulty that the average woman brings to a man's life. For the average man, dating really isn't that fun, not that enjoyable, because most of the time he's dating or dealing with women that aren't cooperative and or are not agreeable. They aren't cooperative. He suggests this restaurant, they fight it and try to switch the date to another restaurant. Not cooperative where they are extremely late to the date, or they flake the first time and, you have to reschedule. Uncooperative, the man, he pays for dinner, he pays for the Uber, he pays for the movie tickets, and she won't even pay for the popcorn. She's not going to cooperate. She's not going to help with the program. She's just on her own, in her own world, in her own mind. She's not interested in making anything easier for the man. She's just being as difficult as she can be. So, femininity, aka agreeableness and cooperation. Men absolutely love women that are agreeable and cooperate with their program. Now, of course, if you don't believe in what the guy's doing, or he doesn't have a plan, or you think he's a poor leader, then of course I wouldn't expect you to cooperate with him. But I also wouldn't expect you to date him either. If you don't believe in a guy's leadership, or you don't believe he's worth cooperating with, then you shouldn't date him. Okay, item number 2. The second most important thing, the second thing that men look for when considering dating a woman or taking it to the next level. The second most important thing is her personality. Her personality. Does she have a great sense of humor or not really? Is she energetic or is she kind of laid back? And how does her personality mesh with mine? If I'm an introvert, I might want her to be more extroverted. If I'm anal, it might be good for her to be somewhat of a free spirit, but not so much of a free spirit that it drives me insane. What is her personality and how compatible is it with my or the man's personality? Is she, like I said, energetic, bubbly, fun to be around, inspirational, helpful? She has a friendly, kind, giving type mindset and personality? Or is she kind of distant and skeptical and cold or masculine? Like, what type of personality does she have? The number 2 thing that men look for from a woman in a woman when trying to determine if they want to date her or continue dating her or take things to the next level is her personality. The first thing that a man evaluates, the first thing that a man pays attention to when he's trying to determine whether he wants to date or romantically pursue in any way is physical appearance, aka looks. Physical appearance, aka looks. You knew that would be on the list, and you knew it'd probably be pretty high. But men are visual creatures, so of course, a woman's looks matter. Whether you think this is good or not, we treat women differently based on how attractive they are to us. There's basically 4 different categories of attractiveness that the average man puts a woman in. And if your desire is a long-term serious relationship, then you want to be in either category 3 or 4. But those 4 categories are going to be reserved for another podcast where I will elaborate on those. But basically, a woman's appearance, a woman's look, how attractive she is to us, basically will determine how we treat her and the amount of effort we will give when pursuing her or when trying to work through or work out or work beyond bumps in the road and conflicts. Her look will determine how many imperfect things that she has that we'll be willing to look over or overlook. I like to say that male-female relationships and that physical appearance is the most important, unimportant thing on earth. And I say that because it's unimportant as far as its impact on how healthy or long-lasting your relationship will be if you decide to get into a serious relationship. But it's very important when it comes to even getting the party started in the first place. When I say looks are completely unimportant when it comes to having a successful relationship, I mean, as long as you stay in the realm of being attractive to your mate, you can't just completely fall off, give up, and drop to one of those lower categories. Like I said, there's 4 categories, and you want to stay in category 3 or 4. As long as you stay in category 3 or 4, things are all good, and you can have that long, serious relationship. But what I mean is your looks won't really benefit you as long as you stay in that realm, because we're going to get used to how you look. We're not going to be awed by your looks after a certain period of time. We're going to be paying attention to the items 2 through 10 closer and closer. Men use the amount of attraction they have for a woman as inspiration, as a spark, as the fuel in order to allow us to take the risk to approach, take the risk to spend money on a stranger and to maybe get to know her a little bit better. It just gives us the motivation to want to try to deal with and get to know an individual that thinks pretty differently than we do and communicates pretty differently than we do. That motivation and the inspiration to do those difficult or risky things comes from our attraction to her. So if a man isn't attracted to a woman, he basically looks at her as a man. If a man doesn't have any attraction for you, then to him, you're just a smaller statured, high-voiced man that is in the way, competition, or to be ignored. In the way, competition, or to be ignored. In some cases, all right, we can do business. But in general, when speaking about the sexual dating realm, you're competition, you're in the way, or you're to be ignored. But if we are attracted to you, then the way we look at you, treat you, respond to you, there's a switch that flips in our head, and it's totally different. Earlier, I said there's 4 categories. Well, of course, one category is we're not attracted to you. The other 3 categories are different levels of attraction towards you that, like I said, will be discussed in detail in a later podcast. But the number one most important thing is your physical appearance, aka looks. Looks, physical appearance, there's certain things about it that you can control and certain things you can't. You can't really control how tall you are or the structure of your face without surgery, but you can determine and control how you dress. You can determine and control the number of tattoos you have, the size, the location, piercings, how often you wear makeup, how much makeup you wear. Do you wear natural looking or is it caked on? Does the base of your makeup match your skin or does it not? Are you wearing a fruity spritz that makes me think you're a middle schooler? Or are you wearing a sophisticated perfume, etc., etc.? Do you always wear jeans and sneakers or do you wear sundresses and cute shoes? These are the things you can't control. And like I've already said, you can't control your height or other things without surgery. So I would suggest that the things you can control, like, how in shape you are, how often you work out and things of that nature, the things you can't control, take control of it and be the best you that you can be. And you will have the most opportunity to find the man of your dreams. The number one most important thing that men look for from a woman when determining if they want to date her is her appearance/looks. Right, let's go over that list once again of the top 10 things that men look for in a woman or from a woman to determine if they want to date her at all, or if they already are dating her, if they would like to take things to the next level and make it long-term and serious. Item number 10, common interests. Common interest. 9, her general outlook and philosophy on life. General outlook and philosophy on life. Number 8, her long-term or big picture goals. Long-term/big picture goals. Number 7, her core beliefs. Her core strong beliefs. Number 6, her non-physical, non-sexual chemistry with the man. What is our non-sexual, non-physical chemistry? Number 5, her sincerity determined by her reliability. Sincerity determined by her reliability. Number 4, our physical/sexual chemistry. Physical sexual chemistry. Number 3, her femininity. her femininity, especially focused on her agreeableness and cooperation. Femininity, aka agreeableness and cooperation. Number 2, the second most important thing, the second thing we look for from a woman to determine if we want to date her at all or if we want to take things to the next level is her personality. Personality. And number 1, the first thing we notice, first thing we look for, the first thing we check off the list is her physical appearance, aka looks. Physical appearance, aka looks. Now, if you go over that list, think about it. Is there anything missing from that list that you think should be there? Anything missing from that list that might be on your list as far as what you're looking for in a man? I bet there's a handful of things. And I bet some of those things include formal education level, career, and finances, money, job, and education level. These are not amongst the top 10 things that men look for in a woman or out of a woman, when they are determining if they want to date her or if they want to take their dating to a serious relationship situation. I'm not saying men don't care at all about your career or your education level or how much money you have, but they care little compared to these top 10 items. Men pretty much only care about your career if it is a career that's in the spotlight, a career that's in the sex industry, or if your career is going to take up so much time and energy that they're going to be put on the back burner. These are the only 3 instances where a man really cares about your job that much. The manager at Walmart and the physician's assistant are looked at almost the same by most guys. And the thing that separates them is that top 10 list that I just listed towards you. As far as career and money, as long as a woman has a job or a career that can satisfy her own status or her own taste as far as how she wants to live her own lifestyle, as long as her career covers that and she's not looking for a handout or a hand up, then the average guy doesn't really care what she does. If she's less materialistic and more humble and she can live a life that she's cool with on $40,000 a year, we're fine with that. As long as she's happy with her career and it doesn't interfere with the relationship, that is what we care about the most. And education level, like I said, it's not completely unimportant, but it's just not a top 10 item. A PhD woman and a woman with an associate's degree are looked at pretty much the same way. And what differentiates the two, like I just said, is those top 10 items. Her femininity, our chemistry, her beliefs, her outlook on life, her appearance. These are the things that we pay more attention to that matter more to men. Education, career, money. To a man, these things are kind of used as a tiebreaker. If you have 2 women that rank pretty much the same when you look at items number 1 through 10 on the list, like I said, if they're pretty much the same when you're grading them on those top 10 items, then okay, we will differentiate the women based on their money, career / educational level. So it's more of a tiebreaker. It's not necessarily an important item independently on its own. So if you don't really take anything else away from this podcast, take away this. What men look for in women and the hierarchy therein is not the same as what women look for in men generally. We weigh and rank things differently. Things are in a different order, different importance. So don't think that how you think about men and what impresses you about a man is the same thing that impresses a man about you. Having the big time career, the big time job, the fancy education, that might be something that, makes your parents proud, makes you proud yourself, impresses your friends, but on the sexual / dating marketplace, it does not do much for you. So just keep that in mind. All right, that should just about wrap things up. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to what I have to say. And if you found any part of this episode helpful, thought-provoking, or intriguing, please share it with a friend. The more people I can help, the better I feel within. If you have any questions, any suggestions for new topics for me to discuss in the future, or if you need any clarification on anything I have spoken on, please just shoot me an email at whatishethinking@gmail.com. What? I-Z, he thinking @gmail.com.
or you can send me a message via my Anchor website. All you need to do is go to anchor.fm/whatishehithinking/message. Anchor.fm/whatishehithinking/message. Go there, leave me a couple words, and if it's constructive, I will definitely get back to you or keep your thoughts in mind when I record future podcasts. And never forget, I'm not here to tickle your ear. My only goal is to tell you what you need to know. I'm not here to offend. I just want to see you win with men. Well, until we meet again,